Thank you.
Yep. Next.
With Teams here, so let me just switch over one setting. Okay, can everybody hear me out there now? So, for whatever reason, Teams is making me have to actually mute my mic tonight. You guys can hear me, right? Storm Chasers hear me? Okay. All right. So I'm on mute on Teams right now. So not sure exactly what we've got going on. So again, sorry about that audio issue, guys. We have several in our live streams right now. And again, members of Midwest Meso Project. And we've got, of course, Matt Jones with 417 down in the Springfield area. We've got Jeff Smith up there in northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri. Storm Chaser Derek Dunn, and he is the newest member of Nader Boys, and he also does a little independent chasing himself. We got Andy Hicks with Team Havoc right here in west central Missouri, and of course Isaac Wilson with Nader Boys, and he is going to be offering us some moral support. He didn't want to miss it tonight, and he's having a little bit of audio difficulty, so he's going to be there just kind of giving us some moral support, waving to everybody, handing out candy, gum, suckers, and to all the viewers out there. So anyway, thank you guys for showing up, and thank you the listeners out there tonight. So basically what we try to do, guys, is we try to get together whenever there is a severe threat in eastern Kansas, west central Missouri. We're going to go over a little bit on the Storm Prediction Center threat assessments. We're going to talk a little bit about the models and what we can expect as we go into the first part of this week. So first off, let me just go ahead and I'm going to show you guys the Storm Prediction Center outlook that's going to be coming up. We've already had a couple members want to know what kind of candy Isaac is going to be handing out tonight. So, so let's. He's going to go get some candy. All right, there we go. There we go. So he'll keep that handy. Let's jump over to Storm Prediction Center, and I'm going to share it also for my guys here, the Storm Chasers. So here is the Storm Prediction Center. It's going to be their 8-day forecast. And, of course, we're on day 1 right here. Day 2, we have a slight risk that's going to be stretching from Minnesota down through South Dakota, Nebraska, western Kansas into western Oklahoma, and the northern part of Texas. And then that's actually going to be shifting to the east. And then we have day 3. And right now, day 3 is looking like a multi-storm event, meaning that we could get some minor severe storms in the morning, more rain in the afternoon, a chance for severe storms on Tuesday afternoon into evening. However, right now, it is looking more of a strong straight line wind, large hail event. The tornado parameters for this system right now, as far as the models go, are not looking all that impressive. And you have to keep in mind, this is not going to be a big system that's going to be rolling through. It's going to be a little bit of a ripple in the atmosphere. We're going to go into that here in just a second. And then in day 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right now, the potential of predictability is way too low for them to have any kind of chance on that. So let's start off with the Euro model. and we are going to be looking at the 500 millibar chart. This is 18,000 feet above our head, and this is where the jet stream lies. You guys, I've talked about this several times. It's great for you guys to be educated as the viewers of this video, so that you understand, without going over your head, understand what we're looking at. We try to keep this in the most simplest terms for you guys, so that you guys can actually understand kind of what's going on up there above our heads. But again, 18,000 feet right here is going to be the main jet stream right now. So that is right along here. Now, you'll notice there is this little, what they call a cutoff low. There's actually two of them right here. Now, this happens is when a storm system gets completely cut off from the jet stream, and they can go anywhere that they want, and they'll stay in one place until something actually pushes them out of the way. So let's put this into motion. This is Monday at 1 p.m. And you notice how once we get to Tuesday at 7 a.m., what I want you guys to watch, you keep your eyes on that system, and as we come right about here, you notice what was left over of that low pressure system has now kind of been absorbed into the jet stream. We still have a trough right here. And this is what's going to provide the focus for thunderstorms along this jet streak right through here. And that's the reason why we see that slight risk for severe thunderstorms right here through eastern Kansas and western Missouri. And then, of course, as we go through the rest of the week, we are going to actually see multiple systems, small ones, that are going to be working in, and we're going to start to see more rain and thunderstorms right along that jet streak as we go all the way through the weekend. Now, we'll get to the rain totals, because that's going to be another threat that we're going to have. There's going to be for flooding rain throughout eastern Kansas and west central Missouri, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. Now, I'm going to back up just a little bit to tomorrow. And you'll notice this is what we were talking a little bit prior to the video. I was talking to Jeff. Jeff is up here in northeast Missouri. And you notice this is 7, let's go back a day. Let's go back to tomorrow, say 1, 2 o'clock. Now, as this system, you see where that trough is, as it begins to eject out, we will see likely explosive thunderstorms in this area. That's the reason why there's a slight risk for tomorrow. And as the day goes on, that's going to actually be sliding to the east. So Jeff is going to be keeping a very close eye up here in his neck of the woods, including northwest Missouri, northeast Kansas. And he's going to kind of see probably how this plays out. We'll talk to Jeff here in just a minute, see what his plans are actually going to be. So let's jump over to the dew point. This is going to tell a pretty good story as well as we head into Monday into Tuesday. And so as we go, notice you guys are going to feel it outside. I felt it today. That humidity is on the rise. It's soupy out there. And tomorrow's likely going to be probably the hottest day of the week. We're going to have mid-upper 80s, and we're going to have dew points sitting up there in the 60s and 70s tomorrow. So this is 10 a.m. tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We start to see that influx of low to mid-60s dew points. So, again, it's going to feel really muggy out there tomorrow. And then take a look at what happens on Wednesday. We'll see a big plume of dew points up here into the 70s on Tuesday. And, of course, we need those high dew points to help elevate CAPE. That's CAPE. That stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. That's energy these storms got to have in order to fire and maintain themselves. So we're going to have pretty good amount of instability here in eastern Kansas, western Missouri, and of course, that little line that you see right here, that's the division between the dry, cooler air and a warm, moist air, and that's called the dry line. And we will see that move across eastern Kansas, west central Missouri by probably around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. You notice now it's down here in southwest Missouri, and probably Matt 417 chasers are going to be keeping a very close eye on down here in southwest Missouri as that dry line moves in, because that will be the focus of probably the strongest of the thunderstorms as we head into Tuesday afternoon. Now, let's take a look at that convective available potential energy, that CAPE. So right here is, let's say this is 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Notice there's a very large area of high energy, anywhere between 2,500 and 4,500 joules per kilogram, and that is a measurement of energy. For those of you that think back into physics class, that's how they measure energy, is in joules, and that is a very, very high amount of energy that is going to be stacked up there into western Kansas. Now, as we go through Tuesday, now notice we don't quite get all that energy transferred over into eastern Kansas, western Missouri, but we're still up there 1,500 to 2,200 joules. Now, for those of you, well, how much will it take to actually form thunderstorms or severe thunderstorms? And you can actually have severe thunderstorms with 600 joules with the right conditions. But typically you want that up there, 1,200, 1,500 joules, and then that way you've got enough energy to sustain these thunderstorms. So as it works across on Tuesday afternoon, and of course it's going to follow that dry line as well, and then finally it gets absorbed off out here into Dixie Alley. So next thing we want to take a look at is going to be composite reflectivity. This is a model representation of what radar could look like at a certain time. And so we are going to backpedal this over to tomorrow, and you will see tomorrow in the afternoon, you start to see these scattered thunderstorms out here in western Kansas, up in Nebraska. That's where that slight risk is going to be for tomorrow. And then as we move that into on Tuesday, then in the morning, we will have some scattered thunderstorms in west central Missouri, eastern Kansas. And then, of course, once we get to the afternoon, this is 4 o'clock, and we have a little bit larger thunderstorms. There could be a few robust thunderstorms. And again, I don't want to downplay tornado potential. Matt Jones 417 is the first one to tell you, you never want to sleep on a slight risk or on a marginal risk or on a level 2 or 3 out of 5, because anything can happen. So we need to stay weather aware regardless. But again, large hail, damaging winds look like that is going to be probably our biggest threats on Monday and on Tuesday. But we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. And we're going to come back to the flooding threat. We'll go over some rainfall totals. I do have a few questions out there on chat already that we'll touch on here in just a second. But first, let's jump back over here to our storm chasers. And Matt, we're going to go ahead and start with you. You've taken a look at the models. Let me know what you're kind of thinking with the Monday, Tuesday setup.
I definitely think the Monday's going to be more out into Kansas. I don't see much Monday here, and Tuesday it definitely seems like a afternoon. Kind of like the more into the golden hour. I see it taking all day to try to get itself formed up. I don't see it being an early morning if anything, it'll be into the overnight hours as it's making its way through the 417 area. Is currently how it looks. So, yep.
So let me ask you, Derek. He's our new guy. Okay, used to be Andy with Team Havoc. Now it's Derek. So we're gonna have to kind of, probably kind of initiate him a little bit, see if he's been paying attention in class here with our group. So, Derek, first question before we even go any further is, what is the number one thing that a chaser has to have in his vehicle?
Snacks. Lots of snacks.
There you go, buddy. You're listening. You get an A plus. You definitely get a plus for that. So, oh, look at Isaac. He held something up. What's he giving away? What is it? Oh, Nutella. Nutella. So, Derek, now you have been an independent storm chaser. Now you have teamed up with Nader Boys. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to Levy or Isaac with the group, but what's your plans as we go into Tuesday here in West Central Missouri?
Yeah, I've talked to Isaac a little bit. It's kind of just a waiting game right now. I would like to go out independently, but I'm still new to this, so I would like to kind of go out with the Nader boys. As long as Isaac's down with it and works around his schedule, I think probably Tuesday, probably afternoon, we'll definitely be out. Depending on how the morning looks, which isn't promising, I may kind of go out independently, catch some photogenic storms, watch it rain, especially with the floods and stuff like that, with all the high waters. I will probably do something a little different and not do tornadoes, but kind of do floods as well. Kind of go around to where the major flooding's happening, catch some of that on live stream, and kind of show our viewers the West Central Missouri area flood destruction. So.
Yep, and Derek, I want to throw out there, you had a couple of great pictures you took last night.
Yeah.
I think I titled one of them. I think it's like Storm Punches a Hole in the Sky, but it was a great representation on how we could have scattered rain out of a thunderstorm, because it was just one part of a cell that started dropping the rain. So that was a beautiful picture. You're doing a great job. Welcome to our group. This is the first one you got to sit in. You're a busy dad. Everybody is. So, for us to all be able to get together, that's a huge blessing. But very good. Well, I'm with the flooding concern, and again, we're going to get to that here in just a minute. Models are kind of all over the place, but with you being over in Bates County, Derek, and of course Henry County, Jeff, I don't know what you have up in your area up there in northeast Kansas as far as rivers, or if you guys have much of a flooding issue, but I know Grand River, Big Creek, Blackwater, we're gonna have some problems probably down here in West Central Missouri. Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about your plan, and then if you want to maybe talk about, if you have any flooding risks up there in northwest Missouri or northeast Kansas.
Yeah, for me and my area, watching the models and everything, right now, like the HRRR kind of shows anything potentially happen early morning hours of Tuesday for this area. Right now, most of the models kind of show a trend where they'll track that dry line, but push more towards West Central Missouri and a little more south of where I am. As far as flooding goes, of course, where I'm at is kind of right on the mighty Mo, the Missouri River. Luckily, the last several years, a lot of work has went into reinforcing the levee system, especially on the Kansas side. There has been some work on the Missouri side as well. It's more the small tributaries that tend to get out of the banks and flood with heavy rains. But as of right now, of course, with the dry conditions that we've had up in this area, any rain that we have got has just pushed south. So most of the areas here, if we get some standing water, it's been dry enough that it goes pretty quick, pushes off into the ponds and stuff like that. So we've been pretty blessed in terms of any flooding or flash flooding. We just haven't had the intense rainfall that you guys have had more so down that area. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep monitoring things. Going into tomorrow, into Tuesday, see how the models trend will really have an impact on if I go to chase or not.
Okay, so and again, you're welcome to come down here where all the action's at, Jeff, if you want to. We can put you up. We can put you up in Subby's hotel down here. I'm cheap, but the maid is horrible. So we do have, of course, Jenny. She said, "Hello, gentlemen." Catherine Brock, she was talking about how her and Kevin. They also storm chase also throughout our area. I think they're kind of thinking more down around your area, Matt. Might have maybe a smallest window, but maybe the best chance down in southwest Missouri. And then, of course, we got Becky over there at, let's see here. Let me find that. Oh, there it is. Our Crazy Acres. She said if I would have told her, she would have provided caramels. Now, I'll tell you about her caramels, fellas. So, she donated some for our fundraiser. She makes them from scratch. Okay? So, and of course, you know me, I'm pretty inquisitive. I said, well, she wanted to donate some gift bags with caramels. And I said, well, it's my service to the viewers of Subby's Weather Talk. I don't want to be, having a subpar prize to be given out. So I told her that I would have to sample those things. And so she obliged, and she brought me in a bag of sea salt caramels by scratch. And oh my goodness, that thing was gone. And I was going to be nice to the guys in the office at emergency management. I was going to be nice. But after I ate the first one, I just kind of stuck that bag in the drawer. And I just started kind of feeding myself the rest of the day. Fantastic. So I appreciate
Sounds like
that.
a road trip coming on.
Yeah, a road trip. You better believe it. So Becky over there are crazy. I'm telling you, if you want to donate some to Midwest Meso Project, we'll make sure and do quality control on them for you. So just let us know. We'll be happy to help. So Catherine also said that she had lots of snack and quick dinners in her chase bag as well. So yeah. So Derek, that's just more proof, man. I don't care who you get stopped. I don't care if it's Reed Timmer. I don't care if it's the President of the United States. He's going to say, so what do you got in that chase car? First word out of your mouth, snacks. I got snacks. That's what I carry. So Andy.
Bag of Doritos.
Oh, Andy, so you've been quiet down there. I'm going to let you talk a little bit. So I think me and Matt kind of picked on you on our podcast just a little bit that we done tonight and put out there. But, you're no longer the newbie, man. You're a vet. We got Derek being the noob now. So what is Team Havoc's plans as we head into Tuesday here in West Central Missouri?
Yeah, I've checked some models today. Man, I think it's going to be a really, really messy day on Tuesday. The models are looking messy. They're all over the place. I think if we didn't get that morning convection, it could, it'll turn up quick for the evening, I'm thinking. But the way most of the models are looking, we're going to get a lot of morning convection. But as far as that second round, anywhere from 1 to 5, 6 o'clock, I think our plan right now is to kind of stay up around in this area and chase up here. So that's kind of our plan right now. Just kind of the 4-county, St. Clair, Henry, Johnson, Benton, maybe Bates, push into Bates, maybe we'll just see. But talk about a busy day tomorrow looking at models most of the day, and just kind of seeing where we want to set up and where we think the best shot's going to be to see something. So we're excited to get out. Got the day off, of course. Hats off to the job for understanding, I guess. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep. So while you were talking about being a messy day, I let the viewers at home. I went back to that composite reflectivity of what the radar could look like when you were talking about it being messy. And again, we're going to have chances for rain and thunderstorms from early morning on Tuesday all the way into Tuesday night. So that's when Andy's talking about a messy day. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that more times than not, if you get early day thunderstorms, it kind of takes away a lot of that energy for storms to refire in the afternoon. The atmosphere has to re-energize for the afternoon. Now, because we have an approaching dry line in the late afternoon and evening, that's gonna kind of help set off some of these thunderstorms. And I think that's what the models are picking up, even though we do have a slight chance for some low-grade severe weather Tuesday morning. The better chance comes in as that dry line pushes through in the afternoon. Now, depending on how much we can recover from those morning storms is yet to be seen. And so I agree with Andy. I think all of us are going to be watching those models very, very closely as we go into tomorrow. Come tomorrow morning, a lot of your what they call high resolution models that have real-time data from weather balloons and forecast offices, it starts tapping into all of that information, and it comes out with a little bit better scenarios of what could happen for the afternoon. So I'm sure we will be watching them very closely, especially the HRRR and the Rufus. Both of them have done a really good job being short-term models and being able to see where those storms are going to originate and how strong that they are going to be. So right now, what I'd like to do is I would like to offer Isaac a free expense-paid trip down to Miami, Florida, all expenses paid, if he can answer to everybody within 3 seconds what 2 plus 2 is. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I did not hear you. So unfortunately, Isaac doesn't win the big trip down to Miami, Florida tonight. So giving him a hard time. But we do have Levy. Couldn't make it tonight, so he had a bunch of family down. So we are glad to have Isaac here for moral support. And let's take a look. So we're about split, I think, on between us as far as the threat for severe weather as we go into Monday and Tuesday. And we rely on the Storm Prediction Center to do a lot of analysis overnight tonight. First thing tomorrow morning, they're going to come out with their assessment. That will likely be the first thing that I wait for as I'm getting all my forecasts and stuff ready to go tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. at the radio station. And then when they come out with their assessment, and then I'm going to start going through those short-term models and maybe have a better handle of what is going on. But now the flooding concerns. We're going to take a look at two different models because they're vastly apart from each other, in which this far out is not unusual. But first off, let me go ahead and let me share with our storm chasers up here. And let me get to you guys there at home. Make sure you guys can see. So what we're going to take a look at first here is going to be the European model. And this has seemed to have, to me, the best handle on storm systems as far as severe wise as well as rainfall totals. Now, our last go around, in which Nevada, Vernon County picked up almost a foot of rainfall, the Euro was kept on targeting up here closer to west central Missouri, up toward Cass and Bates, Johnson, Henry counties. So it was off by about 90, 100 miles, something like that. But right now it's showing really the axis of the heaviest rainfall really going to be falling here in Henry, Bates, and then over here toward Pittsburgh and Iola, Kansas, anywhere between an inch to 2 inches of rainfall. Down around Springfield, about the same, inch to 2 inches of rainfall down here. Now up here closer to Jeff, up here in northeast Missouri, we've got a little bit higher amounts, anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of rain is poised up here in northeast Kansas. Of course, what Jeff was talking about up there, many tributaries along the Missouri River up here, so we'll be keeping a very close eye on that as well. Now, take a look at the GFS. It blows up with the amount of rainfall. So let's jump over here to, let's see here. So let's put this into play. So this is through, yeah, so look at that. It goes up 5.2 inches for Clinton in Henry County, 6 inches down here toward Iola, Kansas. This here is going to be the hot zone according to the, this is going to be for the GFS model. Now the GFS has not been all that accurate when it comes to rainfall totals. But I guess what I wanted to show you guys is that we do have that possibility of seeing substantial rainfall. So we need to stay weather aware, not just for severe storms, but again for flash flooding as well. So as I tell my kiddos when I go and teach classes, you know, that good old saying, there's two of them. When it roars, stay indoors. That's for lightning. If you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. And then turn around, don't drown. Now, most of the kiddos I teach don't drive, but their parents do. And I actually have commented, I've had comments given to me from parents was that that's all they hear when it rains, sprinkles. Their kids tell them, hey, turn around, don't drown, Mom. You know, so, you know, it's working. Getting out there talking to the kids, it is working. So, again, that's something that the more we educate kids and adults alike, I think the better off that we're going to be, and these kids are going to grow up knowing how to keep safe during severe thunderstorms. I had a parent reach out to me. Actually, it was one that I was with Andy and Team Havoc as we went over to Archie, and one of the parents sent me a Facebook message and say, hey, what radio, as far as weather radio, is the best? What brand? And I said, well, I said, I'm pretty impartial to Midland weather radios. And they said, okay. Said, well, Veronica was in one of your classes when you talk about weather. She was very, very excited. As soon as she got into the car, she said, we have to go to Walmart to get a weather radio. So anyway, it's working. It's working, all of the outreach that all of these guys do. And I know Jeff Smith up there in northeast Kansas, and make sure you guys follow his page on Facebook. He went up and got his first taste of talking to the young ones about the weather and talking about tornadoes and safety, and absolutely love it. And that is awesome to be able to do that. And hopefully my goal is, as we continue to grow with Midwest Meso project, that we're going to be able to give some weather seminars to the public where, go down to Springfield, go up to Smithville, have one here in West Central Missouri, and get us together, and we can give away some merchandise, some weather radios, and we can talk weather, talk about safety, and answer any questions that you guys have. So we're definitely, that is on the drawing board for maybe even toward the fall, winter of 2025, and definitely for 2026. So I'm going to check here on chat here. My sis is on there. Hi, sister. Had somebody said she'll fight for Snickers. Oh, man. So, Lucky and Janet. Hi, Lucky. Hi, Janet. Rita's with us. Hi, Rita. So, again, guys, this is, we've done this several times. We've had plenty of practice with severe weather. This season has been a rather active season again for much of West Central and Southwest Missouri. So, we've had plenty of practice. So, again, just make sure that you have your cell phone charged up, batteries are good in your weather radio, have a flashlight. Make sure that your shoes are handy and know what you're going to do if you are ever put into the warning. So I do want to, go through the storm chasers one more time. And one awesome thing that we're doing with Midwest Meso Project is Matt actually came up to me here. It's been 3 weeks ago and said, we have such a great group of guys. He feels like there was something else that we can do. And we touched on this on our podcast that is actually out there, video podcast on our YouTube channels right now. We'll have the audio version that's going to be available on CommunityFirstPodcast.com, iHeartRadio, of course, SubbyWeatherTalk.com. I encourage you guys to go in there tomorrow if you're out on the road. Listen to it. We had a great conversation today with Matt, but we wanted something a little bit more. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about Midwest Meso Project and what we're going to be doing as a team.
Yeah, so we're really trying to push the science side with our group. I think everybody now has their own. Yeah, there it is right there, the data recorders. And so I'm working on, I figured out a couple different ways to mount it. And so I've got the bases started. I ran out of welding wire and my neighbors weren't excited. I was out there with a grinder on a steel plate at 7 a.m. yesterday. So I've got 2 of them cut and, we're working on getting those to try to be able to deploy those this storm season, to be able to get data sets for our own, our own analysis, but then also to be able to offer up to the National Weather Service. And the thing I like about it that is, there's all these research groups out there, and our area kind of gets forgot about because we don't get the great big beautiful LP supercells with these long track tornadoes that don't hit anything, and so that's what I really think is unique about our group is it's our weather is just as relevant, and we're leading in tornadoes right now. So, it's just as in play as, the farther out in the plains, but we've got, that's a big thing right now with Midwest Meso is getting ground probes set and starting to deploy those into our areas. So
that's awesome. And Jeff, I want to touch with you just a little bit. And I know me and you have worked together in the past. Doing everything from covering radar, storm chasing, staying up all night for multiple states at a time. There's a lot of science that is incorporated into the weather. I know I took more math and physics classes than I'll ever want to take or see the rest of my life. But, when we talk about the science, what's some of the things, and I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here, but what are some of the things that we can actually gather information-wise to be able to, how is that going to help the weather community?
So the nice thing is what we're kind of gearing towards is like our wind speeds, our barometric pressures, data points like that. Gather those from the storm systems and our general regions, offering that up to the National Weather Service. Hand in hand, that all goes together to improve warning systems, tell us more about these storm systems that come through, all about saving lives, getting early warnings out. One of the best things that I heard recently, a lot of credit went to storm chasers, was most recently Plevna, Kansas, that got hit with the tornado. When chasers were on the ground helping those folks, a lot of interviews were taking place, and they credited the chasers for getting the information out because they had up to 45 minutes of warning to take cover, and they advised that it was their weather radios and their cell phones and the messaging system, the alert system, that woke them up out of bed to get them to take cover, and blessed that no fatalities or serious injuries occurred with that. So that's an amazing thing that, us chasers are out here, we're doing the research, we're trying to get these data points, we're trying to back up the National Weather Service, and I think us doing the projects that we're doing is going to be very instrumental going forward.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think that is, when Jeff is talking about getting warnings out to more and more people. Now, most of the time I don't like to talk about myself because I'm kind of a little bit of a humble guy, but it was this last storm system on Monday night. I was live, and we were tracking some cells up from Nevada up through St. Clair County up into Henry and Benton County, and of course there was so much information coming in at the same time, and after the dust settled a little bit, and of course we went out, helped the victims as part of emergency management to get them the resources that they need. But back touching on what Jeff said as far as having a little bit of warning, it's very humbling, but at the same time, as I told Matt, it is scary. Because when I hear stories and a picture, what I'm about to show you guys, there was a young lady who messaged me, and then she put it out on social media. And she said, "Subby, I sit in my brown chair and I watch TV every night in my living room." And she goes, "I was watching your stream, and when you said that tornado was heading up toward Tightwad, Racket area in Henry and Benton counties, you said you need to go to your tornado safe spot. It is heading up to your direction." So she gathered her things. She made it to her safe spot in the basement. And it was moments later when the tornado come through. And I'm going to show you the picture of her brown chair and what came through the side of her house. I'm going to show you guys, and then I will show everybody at home. Looked like a broken 2x4 was right into the chair that she sat to watch the live stream. Even though they were not talking about that on, channel 459 in Kansas City, nor were they talking about that on, KY3 or KOLR down in Springfield, but she was watching a local stream. And even though I'm humbled, I'm glad she was safe. It's scary to think that, people are dependent on, little old me here in Henry County to tell them that this kind of damage that we just saw is heading their direction. And it's it just kind of proves the point. And I'm not trying to dog on the National Weather Service here. They are. We talked about that on the podcast today too. But they're understaffed. They're lacking the funding to be able to get enough people in there to staff the National Weather Service to be able to watch 37 or Matt, how many counties did you say?
I think it's 31 for
Okay.
the Springfield field office.
But a lot, you have there's several metropolitan areas in there as well. There's only so many eyes these guys have to watch the radar. So, if I'm able to sit there and get these warnings out 5 minutes, 5 minutes don't seem like a very long time, but it is a very long time when you have a storm of the magnitude that went through our area Monday to be able to grab your things, get to your safe spot, and not have to worry about the storm heading your way. 5 minutes is a lifetime for some people. So it really hit home Monday, and this was just one. We could have another hour discussion on the number of people. This goes to show that I utilize your all streams and my stream. You guys tell me what's going on the ground level. I'm looking at radar. If we can bring this together to be able to give advance warnings out to people, that's great. If we're able to use science and get some of this information, get it to the National Weather Service, the professionals, and allow them to be able to get warnings out a little bit faster, that's even better. So I think everything that we're doing together here as a group is just fantastic, and I'm honored to be part of Midwest Meso Project, and I'm honored to have you guys, the storm chasers out there, going after things most people run from. And again, I'm very just tickled to death to know that that we're working together, and I'm excited for what Midwest Meso Project has as we go into the future. Looking here at some of the, there was one gentleman here. I'm going to read this here. There were not any warning sirens in our area outside Warsaw. That was in Bent Tree Harbor. I'm unsure if there was any warning in Racket or Tightwad. My phone shot me a take warning alert just after he took shelter. He took shelter because the winds were blowing hard, and I thought it might be wise to get away from the windows. Didn't know there was a tornado until after it passed. He says, you guys are great, and you're saving lives. Thank you very much. And another one, you guys are amazing. We appreciate all of you for keeping us safe by doing what you do. So, just another, still just another couple people, just talking about what we're doing is important. And I couldn't feel any more strongly on that now than what we did when we first started. So again, a big testament to all the work and money. Did I mention the word money? Now, storm chasing is cheap. Okay, now, me being here behind the computer eating bonbons while I'm watching radar. Now that's when it gets expensive, fellas. I need those caramels sent over to me, Rebecca. I need those caramels sent to me. All kidding aside, it is very, very expensive to do what these guys are doing out there between the gas, the snacks. Of course, you got to have snacks. We talked about that already 3 times, but got to have snacks, the gas, the wear and tear on the vehicles, the equipment, the laptops, the cameras, the the new adventure we're going into. I mean, steel's not cheap, cameras aren't cheap. Then we talk about software. What radar program are you using? What streaming software? Everything costs money. So I'm going to throw up for you guys at home. I have got a list of So here's a list of everything these guys have as far as if you guys want to buy them a cup of coffee, because we all know it takes a lot of caffeine to stay awake for 8, 10, 12, 18 hours on the road. So we've got Team Havoc's Venmo, Nader Boys, PayPal Venmo, Storm Chasers, PayPal Venmo, and 417 Chasers Venmo. You guys, I'll give it just a sec. You guys can write it down. Just make sure that, if you have a question, maybe don't have time, shoot me a message. I'll shoot you a screenshot of these guys' Venmo, PayPal accounts. And like I said, whether it's $1 or $5, it doesn't make any difference. Every dollar helps these guys. $1 buys me a donut at Casey's. So, you got to have your donuts. You got to have the donuts. Yeah, we had a couple just talk about, I tell people it's a job without being paid. And that's about right on there, Catherine. That's about right on. So, just a brief recap, guys, here. We're getting ready to call it a night. I just kind of what we talked about here just a little bit ago. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the threats for Monday and Tuesday. Those of you at home can see. I'll get it up here for the Storm Chasers as well. This is Monday. This is tomorrow's risk. And again, it's mainly going to be staying out here from Minnesota down through Nebraska and western Kansas, western Oklahoma, and northern Texas. And we're going to see that shift over to day 3 into Tuesday. And that's when pretty much all of west central Missouri and looks like southeast Kansas are going to be under the gun. And again, primary threats, I think what we're going to see from this, from all the data I've seen, is going to be your large hail, strong damaging winds. We take a look at tomorrow up there in Jeff's area. To give you guys an idea, just take a look at the tornado risk. Is very, very small. It's a 2% risk up here, right in the three-state corner right here in Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas. But when we take a look at the hail, we take a look at the wind, we're in that slight risk category. So I think we're going to see that as well here in eastern Kansas, western Missouri as we go into Tuesday. And again, it's going to be kind of an all-day event, starting in the morning. A few showers, thunderstorms in the early afternoon, and then as the dry line comes through in the afternoon, we'll probably have our best chance to see any kind of severe weather coming in late afternoon on Tuesday. So, guys, thank you so much. She has a birthday. Oh, great, a birthday with hail. But, if I don't call you, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Val. So, guys, thank you so much for the Storm Chasers being on here. If anybody has any questions, man, make sure you holler at any one of us. Tomorrow, I know I'm going to be doing updates on Subby's Weather Talk as well as 95.3 KDKD's Facebook page, part of Radford Media Group. I'll be updating our forecast live on air on 95.3 and 104.9 here in West Central Missouri. So we'll keep you guys up to date with the latest information. We're going to be scrounging the models tomorrow morning after 8 o'clock trying to get the latest information. And you can go to any one of our pages to be able to see the latest update. Everybody does a great job. Jeff does. Andy, even though he's a newer, not the newbie, but he's a newer, he does a fantastic job updating the social media platforms. So does Jeff, of course, 417. So, we're all going to have the updates on our social media. Make sure you guys stay weather aware. And then, of course, we do have, it's going to be an active month, guys. Most of the time, most of the time we head into June, and that's pretty much the end of our severe storm season. And right now, according to the LRC, we're going to stay active yet all the way through the third week of June. So I think Reed Timmer even put out, I think he made a post saying that this could be one of the most tornado chases ever for the month of June. So, even some of these guys, even though he's not quite on that LRC yet, I could have told him that back Thanksgiving last year that we're going to have an active June. But we'll go into more detail on that. You guys get the inside scoop today. So, all right, guys. So, listen, and again, any questions, concerns, reach out to us, and we'll continue to update as we get closer to Tuesday. Have a great evening, everybody.